Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and tonight we are live. BM Boldt is back. The Frank Zappa series continues with the album Apostrophe. So let's get started. The chat is open.
Talking bands no one talks about. Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse, and we are live. BM Boldt is back. We are doing the Frank Zappa series like we have been in the past, and we are carrying on. Now we are in 1974. We are looking at Apostrophe. So this was a big record for Frank. I do believe that this record, while this was his 18th album, and a lot of people consider this his most accessible, most commercially acceptable work. I like it. We're going to keep it loose. We're going to talk about it. We're going to do a ranking out of 10. If you kept track of this series, we've done everything starting from the Mothers, Freak Out, and we've made it to 1974, though by the end we may be dead by the time we reach the end of the catalog, ladies and gentlemen. So be patient. So we're trying to get through the whole catalog. So anyway,
I was looking at the calendar. Look at the calendar. So we started this, I think, was it December? A little over a year and a half ago. I figure it's going to
year and a half.
I figure it's going to take about 4 years to get through all the stuff he released during his lifetime. Maybe less if we work faster than that.
I mean, we are up to 1974. This record did come out March 22nd, 1974. If anybody's been following this discussion, I am not a fan of that Flo and Eddie period. It disgusts me, but man, we're hitting some great shit now. I'll leave it at that. Byron, where'd you go?
My dog had kind of pushed the door shut in the basement. She couldn't get back upstairs.
Does your dog know what is happening right now? We are live.
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
She came down here. She pushed, the door wasn't completely closed, so she pushed it open to come down here. And then when she gets down here, she nudges it shut with her nose, and she can't get back upstairs. So,
all right. Well, anyway, let's look at some comments before we start, because I like to do that. We want to keep this interactive. We want to hear about your views on this record. If you haven't heard this record, this program's all about turning you on to this. So we're keeping it loose. Let's see. All right. Dagon is, of course he's here. Thank you. Love it. Prog Rock Dude, great googling moogly. If you know what that means, you should know. Wait a minute. Logan, Byron, don't go whipping on my favorite baby seal.
Yeah.
Brian C. Nice to see everybody. Yeah, welcome. Nice to see you. Of course, BM Boldt, who is also here, said, here we go. Look at this. Mrs. BM Boldt, the trophy wife, is making a comment.
Yeah.
Gabby wants to give
Gabby's
her ranking. Yeah, I like that. Dean, she's still a good girl. All right. Well, let's get going. All right, I'm going to throw over to Byron. We're going to start off. We're going to keep this interactive. Like I said, we want to hear from everybody in the chat because it's Grant's Rock Warehouse, and it's all about music. All right, Byron, give us your thoughts.
Excuse me. So, this one came out March 2nd of 74, and you said it was the 18th album.
18th album.
It was his 6th solo album. And once again, it was on Discreet like the previous one. This got to number 10 in Billboard charts. Best he's ever seen. Probably never saw anything better than that after.
He never saw anything, even though when Valley Girl came out.
Yeah.
I don't think that was anything close to what this did.
No.
Now, let me ask you this. Hold on. I hate to interrupt, but I have to ask you this. Why do you think that this record was such a hit?
I just think it was the time, I think he was at his most popular as far as society and culture, maybe. Mm-hmm. And, I think he'd kind of developed a reputation with people but maybe a lot of them still thought his music was kind of weird. But this music was easier for people to get it, the average listener, I think, to get into. So it was just, I think, a perfect storm for him, probably.
Yeah, could be. But well, I'm not going to go into my thoughts on it. So, I mean, go ahead, Byron. I mean,
we're getting a lot of people quoting lyrics. Everybody seems to know this album pretty well.
Evidently.
Yeah.
Your stinkfoot hurts my nose, for God's sakes.
But yeah, some more of my notes here. So this went gold in 76. So technically, I guess there are 3 versions of this album. There's the LP mix, there's a quad mix, and then there's a stereo reduction of the quad mix. Now, there was an AU. Do you remember there was an AU 20 gold CD version of this? Okay, there was that, and then there was some 95 Ryko CDs, and there's the 2012 version. They're all the LP mix, is what I read. So,
so does that mean if they're on the LP mix, does that mean they're taking those off the LP masters?
Yeah.
So they've got like compression, everything added for, you know, the way they prepare like a...
I'm sure the 2012 mix. I don't know if Bernie Grunman did it or not. But maybe they do a little bit, but they take the vinyl mix. Yeah.
Well, I want to mention this. When I play this is the Ryko. This is like the later Ryko because wasn't the original Ryko? All right, here, look. This is a later Ryko, and this is Apostrophe by itself. Wasn't this on a twofer originally? That. I don't have that.
So, yeah, this is the original version. So you've got probably a 95 there. Yeah. But some of the 95s were the LP mix, they say, but some were this mix, which was the quad reduction. Apparently, all the CDs are the quad reduction except for the gold CD, some of the 95s, and the 2012. So,
all right,
know what yours is exactly.
Well, either way, I'm listening to this. I bought this used. I don't know what, not very long ago. So I think it sounds great, even though it's a LP reduction or whatever you want to call it.
Could be. It could be. You could have the LP mix.
I don't know. It sounds great to me. So we all know that the Bernie mixes or the Bernie mastering in 2012 is the one to have. But really, I don't have a problem with this at all.
I also read that there are 3 slight variations on the quad reduction as well. So we're going to move on. Let's move on.
Well, it gets very confusing. Here, Jeff Dennis, he's been a big believer. There you go. Hello, young Logan. Jeff, be careful where the Huskies go, buddy. All right, cool. Well, anyway, we're keeping it loose. Yeah. We're talking crap. You know how we do it here. All right, cool. So go on, Byron.
So this album, we've got Frank again, of course, on here, and you still have Sal Marquez. This might be the last thing he plays on. I'll have to look into that though. You got Ian Underwood still. I think this is the first album with Napoleon Murphy Brock, Bruce and Tom Fowler, Sugarcane Harris is on here again, John Luke Pawnee, Ruth Underwood, George Duke, Tony Duran.
Jack Bruce,
Erroneous, who's a bass player, Ralph Humphrey, Johnny Guerin, Ainsley Dunbar, Jim Gordon, and the Ikettes. Everybody's on this album. So, this wasn't considered a Mother's album like the previous one because some of this came from the first side of this is the same sessions as Overnight Sensation, but side 2 comes from different time frames. As far back as the Hot Rats sessions. So it's more of a solo album.
Prog rock. The audiophiles will have shitting their pants.
Yeah, if you're a completist, man, I don't know how you get everywhere.
Oh, that is so freaking funny. All right. Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Marlon is weighing in. Zappa rules.
Marlon's got good taste. I always
love Marlon.
that way.
So hopefully he won't give me shit on this show, but he might. But he likes Zappa, so that's good. Yes, Bad Brews, Uncle Ray. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Sorry, we're when we do a live show, Byron, we're loose. So
Yeah, I'm used to the
you know how it's doing. You know how we do it. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and then so back I think it was 2014 maybe, so maybe 10 years ago they released something called Crux of the Biscuit, which was like demos and outtakes from this album. And there's a 50th anniversary box of this that I think just came out, or it's coming out real quick. I saw somebody was reviewing it on Facebook, so I don't know if they had an early version of it. But we don't talk about posthumous releases at this point. So
no, we're just doing the actual album as they were released.
Yeah.
So
we'll mention the box sets or anniversary editions, but in 10 years maybe we'll get around to reviewing those as well. So,
Jason, what the hell? What's the problem?
This is a good album to start with, Jason. It's pretty accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So,
the way I look at it, Byron, is that this is the perfect. All right, for the Zappa catalog, this is the perfect. How do I want to say it? Perfect unison of commercial, but then experimental and accessibility. So it's not real far out if you're not like a Zappa fan. I mean, you could get a lot out of this record, though I'm not going to do my review and I'm going to turn it back over to Byron, but I get all worked up because, well, I like this record kind of bit. So there you go.
Yeah. And there's really no sex songs on here either. Like
no,
we've had previous few albums. But yeah. So anyway, yeah.
What? Chris, what are you talking about? Crazy. All right, good. Keep going.
All right. Well, anyway, so that was all I really had to say about the to lead up to the songs. So if you want to start discussing the songs,
let's start some songs.
Side one.
Let's go.
So so I mentioned how side one was recorded during the same sessions, Overnight Sensation. So it kind of flows together. The first 4 tracks on here all segue basically into each other. It's kind of like a suite. And okay, so you have to hear the live version of this first side on the You Can't Do That on Stage Anymore Volume 1. It's about a 20-minute version of this, and it's got it's got extra material that isn't on the studio album from a song called Rollo, which was released later on other things. Plus there's this guy and he's reciting poetry. You just have to hear this. It's even better than the studio version. So I highly recommend you check that out. So the first song on here is Don't Eat the Yellow Snow.
Yep. Most
people probably know that who knows Zappa. That's one of his more popular tracks. It's kind of a real slow bass driven track. Do. But it's got these real fast flourishes in it, and Frank singing about dreaming he's an Eskimo.
I mean, it's very humorous, very surreal. Yeah. It's a good track.
And and you get these just little horn runs here and there. It's kind of come out of nowhere with it. But it's a short song. These first few songs are fairly short. And then, it ends with this, watch out where the Huskies go. Don't you eat that yellow snow.
I want to add this real quick.
Next track. Go ahead.
I want to add this real quick. Back in high school, there were a lot of I don't know. There weren't a lot of Zappa fans. But this is one of those tracks where everybody seemed to bring up. This was a big track. I mean, this wasn't a single or ever made any money, but people always looked at this record or this particular song as like one of those highlight Zappa tracks.
Yeah, and both of these are really, the first two are really one song in some ways. I think they probably played these simultaneously on the radio back in the day when they played this. It segues right into Nanook Rubs It. Were you going to say something?
No, I was going to say prog rock, dude. The humor's very of its time. But I think for a lot of the Zappa stuff, I think this is dated a lot better than maybe some of that stuff that came later. I don't really have a problem with it so much. So,
but so yeah, the Nanook Rubs It is it's another slow bass driven track. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but that bass line and the chord changes are very, very similar to Black Napkins. If you ever listen to Black Napkins, it's basically the same thing. But one's an instrument.
Well, I think Frank reused a lot of these, themes or progressions, and recycled them. So it's okay. I have no problem, because if you like a certain track and it really hit home, to have it come out later on a different record and, recycle it a bit and bring it into the concept or the work, so to speak, I like it. I have no problem with that.
So yeah, so once again, Frank's singing on this, and this time he's talking. He's still the Eskimo, Nanook, but now he's singing about a fur trapper who's trying to kill his favorite baby seal with the lead-filled snowshoe.
It's so silly. It's silly. Let's be honest.
It's got a lot of really aggressive guitar riffs in it too, and once again, there's some really cool horn parts in it. So he's like, so then he picks up some yellow snow and he rubs it into the fur trapper's eyes and he makes him blind. And blah, 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 blah.
I don't know where he gets his stuff.
This track, so.
Yeah, but where does he get this stuff? I have no idea.
My wife thinks it's kind of stupid, but
well,
it's just, hey, if you like humor and you have an odd sense of humor, you love this kind of stuff. Yeah,
it's not really targeted towards the female population. I'll give it that.
So,
okay, Marlon. Here you are with the horn parts. It's okay, though.
So once again, we're going to segue into the next track, which is St. Alfonso's Pancake Breakfast. Now, the start of this track is just this insane marimba synth part, extremely complicated, and then it's followed by a little horn section, and then it breaks into this really fast, with this guitar lick, and it's like I said, it's really fast, a complex song. And Frank is basically singing a song about a Catholic church's pancake feed. I don't know what the hell how we got from the Nanook and the fur trapper, and now they're down at the Catholic church for the pancake feed.
I don't get it, but it's all right.
But yeah, man, I'm telling you, the musicianship is just off the charts on this track, and there's this awesome marimba and synth solo, and the drumming is just top notch. I think Ralph Humphrey's on this track. He was lights out on the previous album as well. But yeah, it's a great song. It's this and the next track are my favorite things on here, just because of the complexity that goes into it.
Okay.
So all right, so then once again, we're going to segue into Father Oblivion, who is the priest at the Catholic Church. And once again, this song is really fast and complex, and you've got Frank singing about the priest, some of his escapades during or after the pancake feed. I don't really remember, but these two songs are just incredible. I don't know, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think you've explained it pretty well, but as everyone knows, I really like the whole Mothers of Invention era. But oh my God, this record, I can see why it took off. I think it's all okay. This is what I like about it. Let's keep it simple. For one, I like the production. I like the tightness of the songs. You've got an album here which is experimental, but then commercial at the same time. It's very accessible. If you're not a Zappa fan, this might be one of those records that you could look at and go, well, this isn't too bad, because it's not real on the edge. Yes, it's humorous. Yes, you can chuckle when you listen to it, but the musicians on this record, it's a tight, very concise set of songs. We have melodies on this record. Now, some of those Zappa albums in the past, particularly that Flo and Eddie era, I was not a big fan of. But here we're getting down to more songwriting. We're getting down to more catchy songs, because in that the Mother's era, the original era, we're only in it for the money, absolutely free. There were actual songs here with melodies, catchiness, if that's
It
a
wasn't
word.
as accessible though. You know what I mean? They were
No, but this takes,
yeah.
it's out there, but this takes that era and turns that into something that's more catchy and more commercial. I love Frank, but I'd like more commercial Frank. I appreciate what he's done with putting things way out there. I get it. No, I don't have a problem. But man, that whole Flo and Eddie period, everybody knows I don't like that. But Don't Eat Yellow Snow. I mean, it's a great comedic narrative. Nanook Rubs It, St. Alfonso's Pancake Breakfast, and Father Oblivion. It's funny. It's surreal. I mean, who would have ever thought Frank would come up with a story about an Eskimo named Nanook? For God's sakes, where does this come from? But, I'm in. The other thing I like about this record, I might be getting ahead of myself, but it flows very well. The sequencing is great. And who was it? Was it Prog Rock Dude mentioned the production on this record? Yes. The production on this record is very crisp. Excellent production. I mean, he recorded this, I believe he recorded this Electric Lady in New York City. Bollock Sound in Inglewood. I think this actual album goes back to like 1969. So I don't know what tracks he pulled from where, but whatever Frank did here, it works. I'm just going to leave it at that. So far, Byron, I'm in. I like it.
Yeah, I hate to beat a dead horse, but the
musicianship
on those first four songs, especially song 3 and 4, is just crazy, man.
Yeah, it's great.
We're going to see some of that on the next couple albums too, but side one ends with Cosmic Debris, which I would imagine that probably got some airplay back in the day too. That song seemed to be fairly popular. Frank played it a lot over the years, and it's more of a blues track, I think. It's got a real heavy section toward the end, but then it kind of gets back into the blues again. The Ikettes are very prominent on this track, which I don't know if we really got much of them on the first 4 tracks, but they're very prominent here. And he brings up Ponchos again. Off the prior album, he brought up Ponchos. So I think it's a real strong way to end that first side. And there's nothing bad on that first side. It's all solid. It's perfect, really.
Yeah.
So.
All right, cool. Well, keep going. What else you got?
All right. So now we're going to go on to side 2. Now, like I had said, side 1 was all essentially recorded at the same time, Overnight Sensation. I had read. And then so side 2 is a little bit of here and there. And so Eccentrical Force starts the side. Apparently, this was a Johnny Guerin drum track from the Hot Rats sessions. And then Frank took that and built a song on top of it. He used to do a lot of that. It's a real short track. Frank's kind of doing some talk singing. There's a lot of synthesizer effects and a short guitar solo. It's my least favorite song on there. I'm not saying I don't like it, but it's my least favorite song on here.
I don't have a problem with it, but it's all right. It's okay.
So then the next track is the title track, Apostrophe, which is an instrumental from November of 72.
Oh. And let's talk about brilliant. That Jack Bruce bass line. Oh, Byron.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that like, okay, when I listen to this track, I think this is a peak. I think this track is absolutely stunning.
Now, let me ask you this. Because it's kind of a fuzz bass, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not like Grand Funk fuzz bass.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is it like Grand Funk?
Okay, you cannot compare Jack Bruce to that dude in Grand Funk.
No? Anyway, but so
no, seriously, you cannot compare Jack Bruce to Mel. Jack Bruce is okay. Here's Jack Bruce, and I only have so much screen area. Here's Mel. Come on, Jack's brilliant. Mel, not so much.
Okay, so let me talk about this a little more, because according to Frank, Jack played all over this track. According to Jack, he played some cello in the introduction to the song.
No, that's Jack Bruce. That's bullshit. Jack was probably doing a lot of coke.
I know, but Jack says he didn't do shit on this song.
No, if you listen to it and you listen to Jack Bruce and Cream, that's Jack Bruce.
Okay, I'm just saying what Jack said.
Exactly, dog. Absolutely killer. One of my all-time favorites. God damn, I'm getting worked up.
But yeah, so this was recorded in November 72, apparently, with Jim Gordon and Jack, because apparently Jim and Jack were good buddies. We all know what happened to Jim Gordon, right?
Well, he died in prison after killing his mother.
Killing his mom, right. So yeah, it's basically it's a jazz rock tune, in my opinion, with that heavy fuzz bass, a lot of guitar soloing, and it sounds like it could have fit on Hot Rats, really, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good track, man.
Oh, God, it's on fire. And the interplay between Jack and, pseudo Jack and Zappa with the guitars and the bass, I love it. I love this track. Come on. Man. Top notch.
So
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
So this leads us into Uncle Remus. Okay, now.
All right, BM, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
Listen to BBM. Exactly, Ernesto. You listen to BBM, listen to the bass on Apostrophe, and it's Jack Bruce. I'm sorry, it is. It is. Thank you, Ernesto, 100%.
I'm not arguing with you. Jack said he didn't play on it, though.
Jack was doing coke. He doesn't know. Don't forget, Zappa was clean. Jack was probably doing lines on the console. Right. I'm just saying.
So, all right. So, yeah, the next track is Uncle Remus. So, okay, this doesn't sound anything like the rest of the album, really.
It's good, though.
Partly because George Duke wrote it.
He co-wrote it.
Yeah, he wrote the music. So he had recorded this as a demo, and Frank had helped him record it for a possible solo album, and the album project didn't work out. So Frank said that he really liked the track a lot and said, "Hey George, can I use it?"
It is brilliant. Brilliant.
It's a beautiful piano piece. And Frank wrote the lyrics for it. It's very melodic. Frank's got a little bit of solos on it, and you get some more of the iCats, and it's the most accessible song on here.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Uncle Remus is I think it's wonderful. I think it's soulful. We're talking about race relations in this track. Come on, it's brilliant. Come on. Marlon, who has a better voice, Zappa or Luke? Oh, Marlon. This is a Zappa show. We love Zappa. Frank has a better voice.
I'll go with Zappa.
I'm not sure what Marlon's doing. He's just trying to stir the pot.
He's trying to get you going. But
he's trying to get me going. It's not going to work. Anyway, sorry, Byron. We're live. And it's fine.
It's definitely the least Zappa-esque track on here, since George wrote the music, but it's a strong track.
Hey, I love it.
Yeah.
It's got very reflective lyrics. It's very, come on. I think it's one of the best tracks on the record. One of them, even though the whole thing really is just a brilliant piece of music. I'm just going to keep going.
All right. So the final track on the album is Stinkfoot.
Stinkfoot.
That's a total Zappa type track. I think it's more of a slow R&B song about bromidrosis or foot order, Stinkfoot. It's mostly Frank talking, and and there's a lot of echo to his voice though. He's more like kind of narrating a story. But it's got a lot of aggressive guitar fills in it. And the guitar, I don't know if you ever noticed the guitar solo, it's like in stereo. And I don't know if it's two different guitars or it's just a stereo effect. It sounds different in each channel. He brings up toward the end, the poodle bites, the poodle chews it, because he just seems to have his fascination with poodles too. We'll talk more about that in the future albums that come out too. But he liked to go back and talk about poodles. So but that ends the album. It's a strong album. Why don't you give us some more thoughts?
Well, I'm just saying, Stinkfoot. I mean, it follows that whole thematic thing that we started out in the beginning with "Don't Eat the Yellow Snow." It just kind of sums it up. Yeah, you've got some topics on the record that kind of go, away from that. But, I'm going to throw it out to the panel. Or, I mean, to the chat. Is this like a concept album? Because I don't think people really ever talk about it. Because think about it. You're talking about Nanook. We go through the whole... It's almost like a rock opera. Kind of. But we end up with Stinkfoot. Do you think... I mean, it's quirky. It tells a story. And Zappa's always very unique. I don't know. It almost seems like a concept album to me. Because side one totally talks about that story. We end up with Stinkfoot. Yeah, you might have Uncle Remus, which goes outside, and then we have an instrumental apostrophe. But I don't know. I think this is almost like a Zappa concept album to me. What do you think?
Well, the first side is definitely, the first 4 tracks are definitely like a suite, similar like what we have.
Well, but it takes up that whole first side.
If you go back to Absolutely Free, there were 2 suites on there as well.
Okay, here we go.
So to me, it kind of reminds me of that period.
All right, prog rock dude. I don't really see it as a concept album as in one overarching story or theme across the album. Well, all right, look at the Who Sell. That was a theme. That was a concept where the Who sold advertising across to different vendors, I guess you want to call it. They did Coca-Cola. Some of this stuff didn't make it to the final album. Odorono. They were selling ad spots on a record, which is a concept. But the album also kind of fell apart at the end. This kind of falls apart at the end because you've got Apostrophe, Uncle Remus, but you kind of follow it up with Stinkfoot. Maybe I'm full of crap. Let me know. But I kind of look at it as a loose concept record. Maybe I'm full of crap.
I see the first 2 songs.
I don't know, Marlon. I don't know. Go ahead.
I'm not going to argue with that Marlon on that because there's a lot of concept albums he did. But I'm going to look at it this way. The first 2 songs on the side one are really one song that are tied together. And then songs 3 and 4 are really one song to me that are tied together. And then it
sounds like the Who Sellout.
And there's a segue which ties the first 2 to the third, to the second, ties 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. He did a lot of that. I don't know. He does a lot of segueing going.
2112's a concept album, prog rock dude. Come on. It's kind of a loose concept album.
It's kind of a little like 2112, and side 1 is
exactly. That's my point.
Is a suite, and side 2 is kind of not. But Joe's Garage is a good example of But Joe's Garage is really completely unrelated songs, and he created a story to tie it all together, and it worked. But we're not going to talk about that. That'll be in about a year from now.
Well, I think The Elder, if we're going to talk Kiss, that'd be a separate show. But if anyone has followed my channel, I love The Elder. And Byron hates it.
Not a Kiss fan, really.
That's how we're going to treat Byron, because he doesn't like it. No, I'm just joking, Byron. I think The Elder's one of the best things I ever did. Paul Stanley is just a boy, Chris. That's the story. But anyway, I don't know. Call it a loose concept, but we do have a narrative on Apostrophe. So however you want to interpret it, we're just talking music here in the warehouse. It's no big deal. But anyway, now that I went on a tangent, now I have no idea where I'm at.
I think what you're getting ready to say is you're ready to give a score as to what you think this album deserves.
I'm ready to give a score. Boy, no, you're the guest.
God. Yeah,
I like this album. Is this as strong as We're Only In It For The Money or Absolutely Free or
Overnight
Uncle
Sensation?
Me?
How does it compare to the
Overnight?
previous album?
Oh, crap. I loved Overnight Sensation.
I know. You gave that a 10. I'm going to go first.
I love it.
I'll go first to take the pressure off you.
There's no pressure. It's my show.
I'm going to go with the same score I gave the previous album.
Okay.
I think I gave the same score to the previous album. Which
you're the keeper of the scores.
Yeah, I got it down here somewhere. Yeah, I'm going to go once again with a 9.5. I would give this a 10, but like I said, I don't think Eccentrical Force is all that great a song. I'm taking off a half because of that song. It's just kind of
Really?
Yeah, it's like
But it kind of follows that whole theme. It's quirky storytelling. What about I can't even say it. Say it. I can't say that word.
Eccentrical Force.
That's a hard word.
Hard
Words side by side like that are very hard. What don't you like about it?
It doesn't make any sense to me at all. It's
what about Zappa makes sense?
Well, it's just I have no idea what it's about. I don't think musically it's all that great. I think it's more of a drum track with some stuff.
I mean, all right. So what you're describing is filler. It's filler.
Kind of a filler track, in my opinion. Yeah.
It's only a minute 33.
Taking off a half for it, not a whole.
I still like it. I don't care. I like this record. But, okay, here we go. And this is what we're going to do, everybody. Let me get the thing up. Okay, as you know, in the Zappa series, when we go live, I want to hear from everybody in the chat. I need your ranking out of 10. Seriously, we're going to compile it. And I know Jeff's already given it a ranking, but I want to hear from everybody in the chat that knows this record. Let's compile it. We are a community here in the warehouse, so let me get things together. Hold on. So, all right, here we go. So, Byron, you're giving it a 9.5?
9.5.
Okay.
A 9 from Brian C.
Okay. All right, Logan. Okay, here we go. Chris Flood, 6.5.
He's an idiot.
Okay.
Throw that one out.
No, I love Chris. Chris, it's okay. You're good. Don't listen to... Okay, wait a minute. Prog Rock Dude, you're leaning on a 7 or an 8. I need you to commit.
Give him a 7.
Logan, we got a 10 from Logan. All right, I agree. It's not as good as We're Only In It For The Money, but that's all right. All right, Brian C., I've got yours. Who else is given a rating? Jeff, a 9. I got 9. Wow, this is doing... Oh, Logan is calling out Chris. What are the two bad songs? We're going to have a war here in the chat. All right, Prog Rock Dude, we're going to have an 8 A light 8?
8.
What are you? Come on. What's a light 8?
An 8.1
All right, I'll give it a 8.1.
or 7.9.
All right. Anybody else? Anybody else have a rating on this album so we can compile it? Come on, everybody. Chad, thank you. 9.2. We'll take it.
Chad looks like he's new.
Chad, are you new?
Looks like it.
Shit, I need to give you a wrench.
Got a wrench.
Chad, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Because we are a community here. You might follow us, but please subscribe. I will give you a wrench because I appreciate you. Oh, look. I had some more subs. This is good. I love this crap.
Don Barnes
hold on.
gives it an 8.
All right, Sean. Wait a minute. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm not ready. Okay. You don't like the S, Chris.
That's the best part.
Come on. All right. Well, hold on, Chad. I will give you a wrench because I appreciate what you've done so far.
The best part.
Sean is an 8. Chris gave me the 6.5. All right. Before we wind it up, anybody else? Because really, here in the warehouse, we're just trying to. Okay.
6.5 then.
So 6.5. Marlon, you couldn't just say 6.5?
Chuck Schick. Who's that? That's another new name.
I don't know. I got to give these people. Chuck, are you new? He doesn't have a wrench. All right. Hold on. Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Because we're a community here. We need you. I need your support. We're talking Zappa.
Val 57 gives it an 8.
Okay, I got it. All right, let me take it in consideration here. Got an 8. Oh, this is going to be great. Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate it. Wait a minute. Let me bring this up. Why is it being weird? Hold on. Give me like a second.
It's fine. What's the next album anyway, people? I think Roxy and Elsewhere is next.
All right, Chuck. All right, everybody. Hold on. Chuck, I'm giving you a wrench because I appreciate you coming here. You have gotten a wrench. And then we've got Chad. Chad, we've given you a wrench. You are part of the club now. Guy. Who's Guy?
Another new person.
Guy, welcome to the show. I appreciate. Look, here we go.
Okay.
Freaking Logan giving me shit. Hey, Guy, welcome to the warehouse. I'm giving you a wrench, my brother, because we want you around. 9.0. Yeah. I love it. Again, I love it. Please subscribe if you like what we're doing here. It's all about Bruce. Who's Bruce? We get a lot of new people. Thanks, Bruce, for showing up, man. I love it. I'm giving you a wrench too because we are a family. We are a community. All right, so let me look at the average calculator. We probably could calculate this. Let me put Guy's vote in, and let's put Gary in there, and we'll see what we've got. Chuck, Apostrophe was my 3rd Zappa album I heard. You got it.
Where's Gary Joyce at tonight? He's usually
Gary Joyce. You know what? I love Gary Joyce, but he doesn't come on here very often.
Well, he's here a lot.
Grant Science Warehouse. I don't know when we talk science here, but we could. Science. And then Logan, of course, said Grant's Math Warehouse. Well, you know. Chuck Schick uses Gillette. I'm not sure what you people are talking about. I'm just a monkey with fiber optic cable. I really can't keep track. All right, so let's unveil what we're doing. Again, I'm going to throw a thank you to everybody here tuning in, leaving their comments. Let's see what we come up with.
What did you give it?
Oh, I haven't given. I'm going to give it a 9.5. I'm going to get it 9.5.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
In paper.
What is this, Ernesto? We're not talking Rush. All right. No, so I've taken everybody's ratings and what we come up with. is an 8 point. Okay, we've got an 8.6.
We'll round that up to a 9.
Well, we've got an 8 point. It was an 8.5, but I rounded up the 5 to a 9 because it was 8.592857. Blah blah blah. So we've got an 8.6. What's your thoughts?
I think it's at least a 9.
I think it's a 9.5.
I'm not going to complain about an 8.6. It's a great album. One of Zappa's better albums. I think I've only given 110 so far, and that was we're only in it for the money. I'm surprised I haven't given out more 10s. Wow, that's
because you're a curmudgeon.
There might be a 10 coming up in the near future. So
9 point. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good record. Apostrophe was my gateway drug. Logan says.
He's too young for drugs.
Oh, Marlon. Oh, here we go. This is cool. Gary's Apostrophe was my first quad listen.
Sweet.
Heard it in the Navy. At least a 9, Gary. I'm totally with you. I'm on your team.
Ernesto probably has us on a quad 8-track.
Marlon, you're not You're not Ran, and this isn't Yes. Who are you talking to, Marlon? Exactly.
Is Ernesto still there? I want to know if he's got the quad 8-track.
Where is Ernesto? Do you have the quad 8-track?
He was here earlier.
Mrs. BM Boldt, the trophy wife. I want to audit those numbers. The average seems low. You have I don't want to use the word training because in the modern era we can't use that.
Chris Flood
with a female, but have you trained your wife to carry that Zappa flag?
I married her pretty young, so she's well trained. Yes.
Both of you. Okay, Marlon. All right. Rand, yes, the Mellotron, the secret words to get him appear. Did you rate Zoot Allures? Yes.
No.
Yet. No. We have not.
Probably this winter we'll probably get to Zoot Allures.
Yeah, we'll probably get to it. Bat Chain Puller for the win.
We've been discussing Captain Beefheart series on and off. Maybe when we get done with Zappa.
All right, maybe. My older brother turned me on to Zappa with Overnight Sensation. I was hooked immediately. Awesome. Thanks, Chuck, for that comment. I hope you stick around. Okay, here we go. Brian C. I bought Apostrophe when it was released back in the day at the mall, and it cost me $4.99. There it is. Look at Byron showing off. Was it a cutout, Brian? Because that seems kind of cheap.
Ernesto, 7. What? It's too late, Ernesto. Bringing down our
You're too late. Well, I could put it in there. Hold on. He's going to bring down the rating.
So
Ernesto gave it a 7. That brings us down to an 8.5. Thanks, Ernesto.
That's the same.
I wasn't a thought. Logan, you were a thought in my heart, though.
His parents probably weren't even born in 74.
I'm going to ask that. Logan, when were your parents born? What year were they born? Feel free to take your time to calculate that. It was a new release, and it was $4.99. That's pretty good. What was the store back in the mall, Brian? Where'd you buy it? Zoot Alert. We're gonna get to it, Chris. Please stick around. Stay tuned. I know you're a loyal part of the Warehouse. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody. You have no idea. The fact that someone comes on here and watches me ramble on about shit, I'm just really flattered. So I appreciate everybody, and everybody new. I appreciate you all. So it's just a place to talk music because really, without this show, I would have no outlet. I had some people that would talk music all day, but as you get older, people drift off, or you don't become friends with them, or people pass away. And my soul brother, who I could talk music with, passed away in, I think it was 2019. He and I could talk music for just hours. So this is a great outlet. I appreciate everybody here. So I don't want to get all sappy, but you know how I am. A lot of female hormones.
Hey, did Ken White give a score or not? He's late
Where's
for the
Ken?
party.
Ken. Oh shit! I'm not keeping track. Ken. Okay.
I don't think he just got here. I think.
Ken. All right, Ken. I'm late to the party, but I just wanted to say hello. Well, what's your rating out of Ken? Are you hanging out with Gary? You're late. What would you rate Apostrophe? I need your rating because you're a loyal follower. Back in '74, single albums cost $5. All right. Just make sure you start shows before 9. For who?
What
For
time
you?
zone?
What time zone are you in? Logan, here's young Logan. I'm a loyal warehouse employee waiting for my raise. Well, I need more of an assistant if you would like to help me on the channel and assist. There would be money in that if you're interested. Because it's getting out of hand. All right, Ken would. Oh my God! Really?
Yes, these late guys are giving it too low scores.
All right, I'm going to take it in here, but Ken, really a 7? That's taking us down to an 8.4.
They didn't hear my wonderful spiel about how great the album was.
So. Evidently not. They're not paying attention. Ken, I'm a little bit disappointed. All right. But anyway, Ken, I love you. I appreciate you here. Like I said, I appreciate everyone here. Byron, I have a show at 8. We're going to go live with yet another show. I think we can wrap this up. We're at 7:52 p.m. Eastern Time. If I'm going to recommend this record, I'm going to recommend it 100%. I gave it a 9.5. This is close to that era. You know, We're Only in It for the Money is my favorite Zappa album of all time. I'm giving this a 9.5, but the increments are very tightly knit. So I think this is a great record. I love it. Byron loves it. Go out and check it out if you haven't. So based on that, Byron, do you have anything before we Chris Flood? Take away the Eskimo songs in Sinai. All right.
No, we're leaving town for a week. After that, I'll be back. I don't know, 82, I think is the next show I'm going to be on. I think.
You're going out of town?
Yeah, we're going to New England for
on a vacation?
Yeah.
Aren't you retired?
Yeah. My whole life's a vacation.
Marlon, are you not a subscriber? You don't know what the topic is at 8? I thought you were a subscriber. Turn on those notification bells. You should know that already. Here, and I thought you were dedicated. All right.
What is your next show?
I don't remember. It's the title of it's Third Time is a Charm.
Right.
We have a panel. If you remember, we did a show with the really, Ernesto. That's not true. That can't be possible. All right, so the show at 8, Third Time is a Charm. We're looking at those records, those albums that you had a band that put out 2 albums. Nothing really happened, but that third album really took off and made that band. That's what we're looking at. We have a panel. We talked about the sophomore slump before. These guys didn't have a sophomore slump. They just had 2 slumps. The debut and the second album. But the third album was magic. So we're going to look at that.
All right, well, you better get over there then.
Well, it's my show. It's 7:54.
Is it live or recorded?
It's live, baby. We're live in the warehouse.
Get over there then.
Well, I'm good. We're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody here. I want to thank BM Boldt for coming on. Where can I find the panel? Dawson, are you new too? Holy crap. Dawson, I'm going to give you a wrench. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to add you as a moderator because that keeps track. And of course, Dan Campbell. I miss Dan. I'm putting all you guys as moderators because
I'm drawing in all these new.
I want to thank everybody coming on. Please subscribe, or I'll throw you off the damn show. I'm joking. I love everyone. Prog Rock Dude, the next panel is going to be blast. Todd Evans will be there. I've been in the vinyl community for 1 month. So you follow Rachel's channel? Are you over there on Rachel's channel, Dawson? Tell me. I got to end this show because I got another show. Dawson, show up on the next show.
Yeah.
And we can talk over there. All right. Byron, what a great show. I know when we go live, it gets a little loose, but I love these live shows. I want to thank BM Boldt, Apostrophe. What's next month, Byron? What are we doing?
I think it's Roxy and Elsewhere.
Roxy and Elsewhere.
Oh,
Stay
my
tuned.
God. Oh, my God. That's a good one.
Byron may vote that a 9.6.
9.6. No 10s.
All right, Dawson. I'm glad to have you. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Ernesto has...
The A-track.
Wait a minute, Terry. You're late. Jesus, these people. I love you. I'm just giving you shit. All right. We'll see you on the next show. We'll start this up at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We'll see you over there. Join in on the discussion. Please like, subscribe. You know the whole routine. We will see you over there shortly. Byron, have a good evening. We will keep it real, keep it clean, and I don't know. Something else. All right. Keep it loose. All right. See you. Bye.